Yeah.
Yeah.
I was still working, so it was like, me too.
No, and I feel like now everybody's either like out and about gangbusters, or they're still like, yeah, no.
Well, I got COVID for the first time right before Thanksgiving.
Really?
And I'm like 3 years out, and now I'm gonna get it, and I'm an infection control nurse.
Well,
but 3 years?
I worked for the state, I just retired.
Congratulations. I'm gonna knock on wood. I've never tested positive, although there was in 2022, I'm convinced I had it, but every test I took came back negative. So I've never officially had it.
I always say, I haven't had it yet.
Yes.
Practice the antivirals right away. So
Yeah.
I call my doctor the day before. I'm like, I'm going in to test tomorrow, and I get the antivirals. I know it's positive.
Yeah.
I thought it was the flu though, actually. It wasn't. I got tested for that too.
Really?
Yeah.
Whew.
But I was sick. I don't know if the antivirals helped. Maybe they did.
Let's say they did, because
Yeah, let's say they did.
Pretty good.
Yeah, wherever you guys want to start, I'm
All right.
ready.
Are we live on Zoom now?
We are rocking and
we're
rolling.
live.
All right, it's showtime.
Okay, then go ahead and do this. All right, great. Hi, everyone. Welcome. Hi, Zoom. So glad you all could be here tonight. I have to say, I'm pretty tickled that we have this many people, because I wasn't sure. Tuesday night, January 2nd, after the holidays, like, y'all are troopers, so thank you for being here. And those of you on Zoom, we forgive you for not being here in person, and we totally understand. So, but we're glad you're here with us. If we haven't met, my name is Amy Hartle. I am the current president of the Breast Cancer Network of Western New York. I'm also a breast cancer survivor, and this is our monthly learning series. Some faces I recognize. I know some of you have been coming around, coming and participating with us for a really long time. It's nice to be starting a new calendar year in our new space. The past few months, we moved here in September, and we have been kind of getting our legs, finding, how things are working in this new space. And so far, so good. There's been a lot of advantages to being downtown. So we thank all of you who have come to check out, attended events, to participate and kind of make what we're calling BCN in Buffalo a success. We've got a lot planned for this year. There's a lot of good stuff coming. And before we dive into tonight's, I'm just gonna get a couple of announcements out of the way. We do have our restorative health classes going on. The schedule's available online. I believe we are asking for pre-registration. It's still free. We're just trying to get an idea of like who's coming, and but don't let that stop you. If you just want to show up, you can. You can always check the calendar to make sure that there is actually classes, because each week we try to have them very consistent, but obviously sometimes, maybe a teacher can't be here or something. So we do keep the calendar, the events calendar, updated with the actual week class schedule, in addition to on the classes page where it has, which classes normally happen when. And we have a couple of exciting events coming up. One this month, we are hosting another day of renewal. If any of you were able to come to we had our second annual day of renewal, which was in October here, but we're actually going to be hosting 3 more in the first half of 2024. So our next one is in January, later this month. It's in Niagara Falls.
It's in Lockport. Yeah.
Oh, sorry, Lockport. Yes, it's in Lockport. Then we have one in March in
Fredonia, and then Ellicottville.
Yep, and then in April we have one in Ellicottville. So we're hosting 3. We're really excited. They've been the last year and this year. They were a real success. People really enjoyed them. So there'll be an art activity. I believe we're going to do flower bouquet making, and then we'll have some sort of like meditative or movement-based activity as well. And lunch will be provided. And what we're really excited about with this is that we're starting to try and get out into the community more. We're really grateful for those of you who come downtown to see us, and we're really proud of the new headquarters. But we also recognize that sometimes it's just nice, to have something in your neighborhood, right? Or a little bit closer anyway. So that's what we're working on. We have our big murder mystery. This will be our second annual fundraiser called Murder at the Mansion. It's in end of February. And so we have tickets are available. We are looking for people to get involved as well as attend, of course. It's a super fun night. There's going to be, it's an open bar. There's wonderful food. It's at the Mansion on Delaware, the beautiful old hotel there. So if you've never been, it's a treat to get to hang out and participate. And we actually have a professional acting troupe who comes in and does a murder mystery. And so it kind of depends on, you get to participate as much or as little as you want. You can just kind of watch everything unfold and watch the story happen, or you can actually get involved and become an actor yourself if you want to. So last year it was a real hit. People loved it. We had people saying, we hope this is going to become an ongoing thing. So here's to your number 2. Support groups are going on. Our book club is going on. We have updated our lending library. We really took a good hard clean out of that with the move. And so there's actually a lot of really interesting new books in there. So if you want to check that out, please, our hours are Monday through Friday, 9 to 3. That is when someone is typically here. So you can kind of just stop in if you want, but you're always welcome to check that out. And I think that's everything. Miranda? Yeah. Okay. I'm used to looking for Debbie. Debbie's our past president, and she's very organized and very detailed, and normally I'm a little more off the cuff. And so I'm used to looking for her. She would always remind me if there was anything I missed. But unfortunately, we've had a couple of our board members are sick. I will say thank you to Melissa Wanzer is one of our board members. She works with Great Lakes Cancer Care, and we've got Karen and Nancy who always take care of us with wonderful yes, food, exactly. And if you don't know Miranda is kind of our everything 3 days a week. She does a little bit of everything 3 days a week. So
AD crew.
You name it.
That's the
Shipping,
grease.
receiving department.
She's got it.
The grease that makes
Right.
everything work.
Yeah.
That's right. All right, and so that's enough of me. I'm now going to pass it off because obviously you all are here to hear about skincare tonight. I'm gonna let you do your own bio, but I will introduce. Kristine is our featured speaker tonight. She is the owner of Nickel City Skin Spa and Boutique in Snyder, and she is an oncology trained esthetician. So as an oncology massage therapist, I did not know there was such a thing as oncology aesthetics until I met Kristine. And she is just one of the loveliest people you'll ever meet. I know you're in great hands tonight, and if you ever go see her for a facial, you'll be literally in great hands. So my dear, I'm gonna let you introduce yourself and take it away.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Welcome, everybody. Thank you for braving the cold and coming out tonight. Little side note, I started my oncology aesthetics journey in 2017 and was fangirling on coming over.
Yeah, would you? Yeah.
Yes.
Cool. Thanks.
And started volunteering with Roswell and was fangirling over somebody. And it was actually during COVID that we had a conversation that lasted well over an hour and a half on the phone. And I was walking around my spa that I had just moved into on my phone going, so she's really the icon in all of this, the role model for all of us who are coming up and moving to make this a movement that your cancer journeys are not just about treatment, that there are integrative and holistic care to supplement that. So welcome tonight. We're going to talk a little bit about clean skincare and what that means. We're going to talk a little bit about ingredients, and then we're going to talk about how to incorporate that into your life. I need my clicker, sorry.
Yeah.
I do have my cheat sheet. Skincare can sometimes get a little sciencey and a little bit kind of repeats as, we're looking to soothe and calm the skin, nourish it. So I do have my cheat sheets with me here, so I can kind of keep my own track going. But we'll do, let's see if that's it. Okay, so as Amy said, my name is Kristine Koch. I've been a licensed, New York State licensed esthetician for 17 years. I started my oncology aesthetics journey in 2017. This is not a journey that I've gone on myself. However, growing up, I had very, very reactive skin, very, very sensitized skin, and I knew what it felt like to feel like my skin was turning on me. And when I was 29, I got a job at a salon and spa, and the estheticians there kind of took me under their wing and helped me through that portion of my skin journey. And I thought, man, if I could do this for a living, I would. So when my youngest child went to kindergarten, I said to my husband, I don't really care if I ever do anything with it. I'd like to go to aesthetic school. And he, as he always is, incredibly supportive. So that's where I started. I understand the impact that cancer can have on somebody with their self-esteem and their well-being. And I look at my job as helping each person be comfortable and confident in the skin that they're in, regardless of the challenges that they're facing. So a lot of what we're going to talk about tonight is ingredient driven, not necessarily, oh, look for this product or that product, but to kind of get you familiar with ingredients that will be a little bit more beneficial. I'm not going to bash other ingredients that might not be as beneficial for you, but just to give you the information so you have a little bit more of a discerning eye. My approach to aesthetics is rooted in empathy and compassion, and a commitment to help each person, whether they are an oncology guest or just a typical aesthetics client, on their skincare journey so that they have the healthiest, most radiant skin that they can possibly have. So, and I'm just thrilled to be here today. So we're going to talk a little bit about take cancer out of the equation for us as women. And since we're all women here, that's kind of where I'm going to focus the conversation. If Rob was here, it'd be different.
He'd understand.
He'd understand. Okay, so as we age collectively, and again, we're taking cancer treatments out of the equation for us, the effects of aging and stress on our skin kind of work against us. As we age, the production of collagen and elastin in our skin diminish. Collagen is this protein substance that kind of helps the structure, the frame of the skin. It helps with elasticity, kind of keeps things where they're supposed to be. Elastin, that's what gives the skin bounce. It's what snaps you back. As that diminishes, because life is fair, you can see some sag, some wrinkling, my mom's chin is coming. So, so that happens. The top layer of our skin, the epidermis, if you will, starts to thin out a little bit. And the cellular turnover that we used to experience so rapidly in our teens and 20s is going down as well. So we don't have that new tissue forming. So that epidermis layer is kind of thinning out a little bit. And the ability for it to hold on to moisture is going by the wayside as well. So along with collagen and elastin, those great buzzwords that we hear, there's collagen supplements and collagen ingredients in skincare products, hyaluronic acid as well. That's like an interstitial fluid that we have. It's a humectant. We naturally produce it, and that production goes by the wayside as well. So again, so now we're losing elasticity, we're losing shape, we're losing moisture content. And that's just as the aging process happens. Our tone and our texture change. We might notice little, what they call age spots, hyperpigmentation. Those are usually the sins of our youth coming up to haunt us. I think we're all in a similar age group. Like, this was the days before sunscreen where we'd lay on Mylar blankets covered in baby oil. Yeah, those sins are going to start showing a little bit more as the birthdays go up. I'm not saying that we are not going to help all of this. This is the bad news portion of it. uneven pigmentation, weakening of our facial muscles over time as well, and the loss of facial volume. For facial muscles, it's tough because when we decide that we want to work out, when we want, God rest her soul, Tina Turner arms, we decide we're gonna move our body in a different way. Hope you folks at home enjoy that. So we move a different way. And so we get that muscle tone and that structure. With our face, it's a little different, but I'm gonna show you how you can kind of help tighten and tone the muscles on your face as well, so that you're not experiencing that slack and that sag. And let's see. Yep. Okay. So that's just as we're aging. Now we're going to throw stress. So stress is such a cliche term, but it's there and it's ever present. And our body can't differentiate between what's a perceived stress and what is an actual physical stress. An actual physical stress is that you have to outrun a bear, or you're going to lift a car to rescue a child. A perceived stress is that you have to Christmas shop for everybody in your family. You have your mother-in-law, your father-in-law coming over for dinner. Your house is a mess. You're moving, you have to pay bills. You're doing this, that, and the other thing. And either way, your body is responding in the same way. So your cortisol levels, your adrenaline levels, your epinephrine levels are all going up, going up, going up. And what those hormones do is that they send all your available energy to your arms and your legs, these large muscle groups, so that you can either outrun the bear or you can fight it off. But we're not doing that. So we're not burning off those hormones as quickly as we would like. So they have to go somewhere, and they're going to our skin and they're coming out. If you've ever had to do a presentation in front of people that you're a little nervous about, and you wake up and you've got a little friend, we'll name him Phil, that is because that's how your body responds to elevated levels of stress. In a myriad of other ways as well, but we're going to just talk about the skin today. So when your expendable energy is being sent to your large muscle groups, everything else is going by the wayside. Your circulation, digestion, reproductive needs, and particularly your skin. Your skin is what I refer to as the youngest child of the organ family. It gets whatever's left, and that's it. So your collagen, your elastin, your hyaluronic acid, our production's already diminishing. So now, because we've got to fight off bears, the production is even less and less and less. And because our bodies are these beautiful machines that want to be balanced and even, it's going to say, I think our skin is a little dry. Well, we should make some more oil and sebum to get that going, to increase that hydration. So that's where sometimes people get breakouts or pimples, because, or they feel their skin's a little bit on the oily side, because your body is producing that excess sebum or oil, and that's where bacteria gets stuck, and that's where the pimples come in. Or some people experience excessive dryness, like myself, when I'm stressed out. So that leads to acne breakouts. It can lead to premature aging, because when you're stressed out, you pretty much make this face all the time, so that the 11s form, the nasolabial folds become a little bit more indented. So that's just day-to-day life. That's aging and that's stress. Now we're going to talk about how different cancer therapies impact that as well, and kind of layer on that. But trust me, there is light at the end of the tunnel. So the three cancer treatments: chemotherapy, radiation, and surgery. And they all have different little skincare concerns. Not little, but chemotherapy. So cancer is cells run amok. It's just cellular growth going unchecked. Chemotherapy, in a nutshell, in just that little 10-word definition, it's meant to stop cellular growth. Quickest growing cells in our body are hair, skin, and nails. That's why those side effects are so profound and so immediate in terms of seeing things. Your skin is gonna become a little drier. It's going to become a little bit more sensitized. The moisture retention is gonna kind of go by the wayside as well. It's a horrible term, and I'd love for somebody to give me something different, but whatever, sometimes the cocktail that you're on can make you photosensitive, which means you're gonna burn a little bit easier. You might hurt your eyes a little bit more. So some protection comes into play, and we're gonna talk about that a little later on as well. Rashes and allergic reactions. I've started doing arm and hand massage on the chemo floors at the different Roswell satellite offices. And I never knew until I started last year that many, if not most people, start with Benadryl to counter that. So that makes sense as well. So you're dealing with rashes and hives, excessive itching, and just a general feeling of discomfort in your skin. It can also affect your nails. Hair, skin, and nails, all the same ingredients, but it's how they're put together that makes the difference. It's kind of like the difference between a muffin and a cake. So, you know what I mean? I mean, I'm sure there's a better example of that.
Oh, it's actually not a bad example.
But
yeah.
So they're all the same building blocks, but it's how they're put together, that your nails and then your hair. So they all have that similar effect. Side effects for chemo: discoloration, brittleness. You may lose a nail or two, but there's ways to kind of ease that discomfort during that. Any questions so far? Feel free, like if there are questions, just kind of come out. If you have that question, I'm sure other people do as well. Radiation dermatitis. Looks like a sunburn, kind of presents that way. Irritation, it could be just redness, it can include dryness, discoloration to the area. There could be some hair loss in that area as well. What I like to tell people before they start receiving radiation is a good time to help to start fortifying the skin with something as easy as jojoba oil, sesame oil, or olive oil even, to build up that integrity of the skin so that way it can withstand that a little bit more. Do you have a question?
No, I said that's interesting.
So
putting oil on like that.
The thing with the oil is, so this would be in advance, like this would be, so if you find out you're going to have radiation,
yes.
prepping the skin, what you have to be careful of when you're in radiation is you have to be very careful of what you're using. And you know, if you've had radiation, you know, but you don't, they won't have you put anything on before you receive like the day of treatment, but then after treatment, they want you to use something to help take care of the skin so that the burns don't get too bad. But at that point, it's really important to use certain ingredients, because just like the old myth about putting butter on a burn, right? That was, well, we actually know now that actually increases the burn. So that's what you do have when you're in active treatment. You have to be very careful with what you're using, but having anything kind of prior to is
prior
great.
to that. And it's building up the integrity of the skin. And why I always suggest oils, particularly those three, is that they're rather close to the molecular structure of our skin. So they're not just resting on our skin, they're actually absorbing in, and that we can utilize the benefits from them a little bit easier. I know coconut oil has had its day in the sun. And if you go to buy coconut oil at Aldi or Wegmans and you buy it on the shelf, what form is it?
Solid.
It's solid. It's solid. That's not going to absorb into your skin. We use coconut oil in skincare, but it's been fractionated. And that means that the molecule has been pulverized so that you can more readily use it. But just buying that off the counter, you can use it to cleanse your skin, but using it as a moisturizer is not going to do it. But organic extra virgin olive oil will do it. Sesame oil will do it, depending on the type of skin that you have. And because we're absorbing it, it's going to help, we're gonna be able to utilize the benefits for our skin a little bit easier. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and again, nails, hair, same thing. Those 3 oils act as wonderful building blocks to build the integrity of your skin. But again, anything during radiation, you're going to want to talk to your healthcare provider and oncologist about what they think is most beneficial. And then surgery, the concerns are the incision site, making sure that it's healing properly, that it's not infected, and then the scars. And that's also something that you can think about in prepping the skin beforehand, is using those oils before you have the surgery. And I'm full of bad analogies, and if you get to know me, you'll know I'm full of bad analogies. But say you get this beautiful, beautiful Italian leather handbag, and then you leave it out in the sun and don't take care of it. What's that bag gonna look like? It's going to crack, it's going to splinter away, and it's gonna fade. Our skin is the same way. So the earlier that you start taking care of your skin before treatment, before chemo, radiation, or surgery, the better. But taking care of it post is just as important, not only for the benefits of it, but actually the self-care aspects of it as well. And different scars, it depends on the location, the size of the incision, what type of surgery is being done, what the techniques are being used. But the biggest thing, it's important to note that like your experience is going to be different than your experience, different than your experience. And while we can find a common communication ground, understanding that some people's side effects are more profound, some people might not experience any at all. And just knowing that this is a journey that you're on, and these are moments in time that you kind of get through. So I'm here to talk to you about the light at the end of the tunnel. So I am a holistic, organic directed esthetician. While I do chemical peels and dermaplaning and all those fun things, the products that I use are typically plant-based, vegan, ethically sourced. They're not tested on animals, and they're what I consider clean skincare. Not necessarily organic. Being organic in the United States is sort of cost prohibitive for some skincare lines. So the cleanest organic ingredients are the best ones to use. But the importance of the products isn't as important as creating the routine for yourself and looking at cleansing your skin as a self-care ritual that's focused on your well-being. And then the side benefit is the beautiful, healthy, radiant skin. It's taking that opportunity for yourself to give back to yourself. All right, I'm gonna just read this really quick. So treatment not only takes a toll on your body, but it's physically and emotionally taxing, and it's crucial during that time to focus on self-care for yourself. It's also important to keep that going for yourselves and not just keep it within that moment in time for yourselves. Even if it's just 10 minutes in the bathroom, instead of just washing your face, and that you're doing a cleanse and a facial massage, is going to be so beneficial for you. Human touch is not only me touching Amy, which is nice. If you've ever had a massage, it's a very nice thing, but it's also self-touch. your body can't differentiate between someone else touching you and you touching yourself. So our parasympathetic nervous system responds to touch. So when you do that and you do a little bit of self-massage and you incorporate some pressure point work and you have candles going and a cup of tea, you're creating this atmosphere that breeds that self-care and promotes your overall well-being. But we'll talk about the parasympathetic nervous system in a little bit. For our oncology guests who are already undergoing the rigorous medical treatments, it becomes even more important to eliminate some not so beneficial ingredients from their skincare. Some of the ones that we're going to look at today are up here, and we'll talk about them in just a moment. Clean beauty isn't taking all the chemicals out. And just because you can't pronounce an ingredient doesn't necessarily mean that it's a bad thing. There are just better alternatives that are going to help your skin rejuvenate, replenish, and heal itself. Clean skincare products are formulated with natural and organic ingredients that are gentle on the skin, making them ideal for individuals undergoing treatment and beyond. Your skin is going to change a little bit. So these ingredients will kind of help you transition through all of that. Taking care of our skin and engaging in self-care rituals can boost our self-esteem and provide a sense of normalcy during a challenging time. It allows us to reclaim control over our bodies and focus on our overall well-being. Beyond the treatment phase, a clean skincare routine remains important, as our skin is our largest organ. It's our largest organ, and yet it's still the youngest child. Even when people say, I drink all the water in the world and I'm still dehydrated, that is because everybody else in the pool is taking what they need and your skin gets exactly whatever is left over. So when you are experiencing dryness and dehydration, when you do things topically to your skin, you're going to feel the benefits a little bit more readily. A clean skincare routine is going to help with recovery and maintenance of healthy skin post-treatment. It promotes skin rejuvenation, aids in the reduction of scars and hyperpigmentation, and supports your overall healing process. We're now going to talk about minimizing some of the negative ingredients. We're going to talk the first one. There are parabens. And you'll see everywhere on skincare products that this is paraben-free. Parabens are preservatives. They're meant to promote, extend the shelf life of products. We need preservatives. If someone says that this skincare product has no preservatives, do not use it. Unless you just opened it and you're using it within a day or two. Just like with food, the clock starts when you take the lid off. But there are better preservatives that you can use. Parabens have been shown, studies show that it's been linked to hormone disruption and skin irritations. Better preservatives, grapefruit seed extract, rosemary seed extract, a radish root filtrate, which has a fancy word. It's called lucidal liquid, and that is an antimicrobial peptide. So it's beneficial for the skin as well, but it's going to stop the growth of bacteria, yeast, mold, all those fun things that we don't want to introduce to our skin. And Optifin, which is a broad spectrum preservative that's commonly used in natural and organic skincare. So preservatives aren't a bad thing. There are just better choices that you have. Phthalates, they're chemicals that are used to enhance the texture and fragrance of skincare products. Again, that's a big one that you'll see on labels that are kind of, that's the big promotion and the buzzword, that there's no parabens or phthalates. SLSs and SLESs, those are what give you a sud. And we are in this country obsessed with suds and being clean and foaming gels. There are better products for that as well. One of them is called coconut-propol. It's coconut-based. I learned that word just for you guys. So again, it's just reading the ingredient deck to find a better choice. Formaldehyde, what does formaldehyde do? Just see all in the biology lab, that's all I can think of. So formaldehyde, it's a preservative as well, but it's not so great for us, or they wouldn't have us wearing masks while we're doing those dissections. So they're known to irritate the skin, and again, high allergy rates. Synthetic fragrances, this is a big one for me because in the United States, there is no governing board for skin and body care. They can put whatever they want, and the corporations, the businesses that make skincare can put whatever they want in it. And if there's fragrance on the ingredient deck, they don't have to tell you what's in that fragrance. That's why it's one of the biggest allergens out there, because it's what they call proprietary information. So like when you walk into Bath and Body Works and you love the honeydew cucumber candle or lotion, and that's your scent and you love it, they don't have to tell you what is making up that scent compound in there. They just have to tell you that it's in there. That's why it's one of the highest irritant and allergy ingredients in skincare products. Not only skincare, body care, shampoo, conditioner, all of that stuff. So that's a nice one to stay away from. If you like scents and you like something that has a little bit of that aroma, look for something that's essential oil based, or you can look for natural fragrances, and natural fragrances are going to tell you what's in it. Mineral oil. Mineral oil is like what is it, Johnson's baby oil for makeup removal. It's a petroleum derived ingredient, and petroleum is not so great for us. I come under a lot of fire when I say Vaseline is not our friend. There are better products that will create occlusive factors for you. The reason that people are like swear by it for chapped lips and dry elbows is because it creates that protectant factor, but it's not nutritionally beneficial or healing your skin in any way, shape, or form. There are great balms that will do the same thing, but it'll eventually absorb into your skin and give you that same protectant factor while it's doing your skin a favor. Do you have a question?
I was thinking. Isn't it good for sun protection?
Vaseline?
No,
Mineral oil?
Mineral oil.
No, if you put mineral oil on, you're going to absorb the light. You're going to tan like nobody's business.
It's gonna increase.
Yes.
No, I'm asking that question because I read it as a first ingredient on some sun protectors.
So I'm gonna get on that soapbox in a little bit about some protection factors, but so petroleum is a byproduct of oil refining. And they had to figure out how to make a little money on that. So they processed it a little bit more and created things that are barrier function. So you're not wrong in that, but there are way more beneficial sun protectant ingredients that you could use, should use, would use than mineral oil.
I read it in a health food store.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Like you said, I mean, there's so many things that are not
Right,
There's so many
right.
products.
There's no regulation on the
Yeah.
term natural, like organic. One of the challenges with organic is that you can have small businesses say, and whether it's food or ingredients that will that actually, don't use pesticides or use cleaner, safer pesticides, but they might not be able to afford the certification process for organic.
Yep.
So if something says certified organic, you can have a lot of faith in it. Just because it doesn't say that doesn't mean it's not clean or healthy.
Right.
But the one challenge is the words like natural and clean, and for Zoom, I'm doing air quotes
Air
right
quotes,
now. There is no regulation on that. Anybody could slap the word natural on, it's called greenwashing.
Everything is of nature.
Right.
Everything is
chemicals
natural.
are made from, chemotherapy is made from nature, right? So it comes, a lot of it comes from the yew tree, so it's just the challenge of, and that just because there's maybe one ingredient in a product, like a sunscreen or something, doesn't necessarily mean the whole product's bad, but
Right.
it's a little bit of having to kind of pick and choose and make your decisions, once you learn about some of this.
The same with nothing is chemical free.
Right.
Because everything
Is
is a chemical. So just kind of being a little bit more discerning with reading the labels. You said something that I wanted to jump on. Now it's gone. It'll come back. It'll come back. Synthetic colors, it goes back to that same, the synthetic fragrances. Triclosan is an antimicrobial agent that's used in a lot of cleansers and hand sanitizers. Again, the thing is using this in one product, that's not a bad thing. But how many of you only use one product? Women typically use anywhere between 10 and 40 products a day. Wow. Some use less, some use more. So think about it. Shampoo, conditioner, body wash, soap, hand soap, cleanser, exfoliant, moisturizer, eye serum, hand lotion, hand sanitizer,
Makeup.
body lotion, and then the whole thing of makeup. So now, each of those ingredients have deodorant, thank you.
All the things.
Each of those products have between 10 and 30 ingredients in that. So if you're on the higher end and you're using 25, and each one has synthetic colors in it, or each one has the MEA, the DEA, I can't say that word. So you're layering, and that's where that comes in. One in of itself is not bad for you, but there are more beneficial things that you could be using, and that's what I want everybody to walk away with today. The MEAs, the DEAs, and the TEAs, they're emulsifiers. They thicken things up. They help rebalance the pH of the skin after using other products. But it's the potential for an interaction with other preservatives. So if you don't have to use it, why would you? To our discussion about sunscreen, I have a big stance on sunscreen because I am allergic to this product. And I didn't know I was allergic to it for a long time, and I kept trying to use sunscreen. I'm about as fair as you can get, and I have a son who's basically translucent. And he has the same allergy that I do. So it took a long time to figure that out. And how sunscreens work, sunscreens with oxybenzone and avobenzone absorb into our skin and diffuse the light. They work on the same principle as photosynthesis. So it absorbs the light, breaks it down, and diffuses it within our system. The issue is that it also heats up our skin, making it a bit more reactive, but it also has a higher allergy rate. Physical sunscreens, titanium dioxide, zinc oxide, those, the white line down the lifeguard's nose, they get a lot of a bad rap because of the formulations that used to be. I'm gonna pass that around if you wanna see where it's gone now. They rest on our skin.
Is this tinted?
Yes, they rest on our skin and bounce the light off, so you're not absorbing it. It's not been nanoized, so it's just resting on the skin. It used to be that the complaint was that it was chalky and heavy, but that has changed. When you're looking for sunscreens, and then this one is open as well if you want to try it. There is right on the top here, when you see medicinal ingredient or active ingredient, and it will tell you what the you're welcome. It's right up there on top, so if you want to pass it around. So it's not adding to your toxic load that you're ingesting, because what we put on our skin, we ingest. So I like to err on the side of caution and use a sunscreen that's more of a physical sunscreen. Now, what we want to look for, some things that are more beneficial to us. The base of most organic and clean skincare is an olive oil base. And not olive oil, I'm sorry, aloe. What do we think of with aloe? Burns. So if it's going to help soothe and calm a burned skin, it's going to be even more beneficial for a skin that is already balanced. So aloe is great. Jojoba oil again is molecularly close to the structure of our own skin, so it absorbs lovely. It also, if I'm not mistaken, it's the most hypoallergenic oil for massage therapists. This is what you guys use typically.
So yeah, some people do. So jojoba oil, and this would be you more than me, but some of what I've studied over the years, it's actually not even an oil, it's a wax ester.
Yes.
And it's the closest, so sebum is the oils that our skin produces naturally.
Yes.
And so jojoba oil is the closest to our skin's own sebum. And in the way, in its like structural integrity and everything. And so
it absorbs it more easily into our skin.
Yeah. Like as a massage therapist, I've had a couple of clients over the years. You know, most people are fine with lots of different things, and I've used lotions and oils. I use a hypoallergenic lotion, fragrance-free, that's recommended by the Society for Oncology Massage. But I remember one in particular, I had a woman who had so many allergies to and so many, would get so irritated by any kind of seed oil or anything like that. She could only use jojoba, and she would actually bring her own jojoba, and I would use that with her.
We have a bottle at the shop. It's specifically for anybody who comes in with allergies, because we use we have an olive oil based one, we have the jojoba based one, but there's essential oils in there as well, and different blends. So just to err on the side of caution. Shea butter, it is a nut butter that comes from the shea tree. It's this wonderful intense moisturizer for the skin. Green tea extract is a great antioxidant that fights free radicals. It's just a way of saying that if your skin normally sits like this, when there are free radicals involved, your skin kind of goes like this. And it kind of breaks the structure of the skin, and that's where you get wrinkling, fine lines. So what the antioxidants do is they kind of act as a lock to keep the skin like this, that antioxidant force. That makes sense. That's the easiest way I have to explain it. Chamomile is just this lovely, soothing, calming, healing. It helps reduce inflammation. It promotes the skin regeneration. And it helps irritated skin and helps with a more even skin tone. calendula, this is my favorite ingredient. It's part of the marigold family. It's great for wound healing. Again, for skin regeneration, it helps with inflammation. It helps soothe and calm the skin. You can use it hair, skin, and nails. Everybody's going home today with a little bit of the sample of our jojoba and calendula oil to try. It's just a lovely serum that you can use, like I said, hair, skin, and nails. Rose hip oil. Oh, my rose hip picture's gone. Oh my gosh. So rose hip is a great form of vitamin A, and why you would use vitamin A in a soothing, calming skincare line is that vitamin A helps to take the product, the ingredients down a little bit deeper into the skin. So it kind of acts like a little rocket that heads down and brings everything a little bit to the base of the skin. It's going to help improve the appearance of scars, fine lines, and wrinkles. And again, it helps with antioxidants. The cucumber extract, that's just cooling, calming, and they have cucumber water today. So I would definitely, I know, and it just seems to go down easier than regular water. But again, it's refreshing, it's hydrating, it's great for soothing and calming the skin, just like our friend aloe. And it helps revitalize and reduces puffiness. Also, I should have passed this around before. This is our one of our toners that we have at the shop. I love toners because if you're feeling dry or dehydrated throughout the day, or you need a little pick-me-up, you can just kind of give yourself a little mist. And the base in this product is aloe. So if you wanna, don't have to necessarily spray your face. There's no scent.
Oh, it's lovely.
Yes.
A
So
little
if,
of neroli, I can
a
tell
little
you.
bit of neroli. And
Yeah,
I think
that's
I'm
really nice.
scent stunted now with everything at the
Yeah.
shop. But yep, that's our cooling and calming. And then we have a soothing one with the calendula in it. Hyaluronic acid, that's that powerful humectant, and that's in most, everybody's gonna be missing themselves.
Yeah. It's
If you
really
ever have a
nice.
facial, when the esthetician is misting you, they are misting themselves as well. We work in a hot, dark room, so any chance to give ourselves a little bit of a pick-me-up. Hyaluronic acid, it's a great humectant. It attracts 1,000 times its weight in water, so it's not only pulling your own hyaluronic acid to the front, it's pulling moisture from the air. And then witch hazel. Witch hazel is the ingredient up there that, because our body is this great machine that wants to be balanced all the time, when your production of collagen and elastin and hyaluronic acid diminishes and you're feeling dry, the witch hazel, and you're producing too much sebum and oil, the witch hazel is going to kind of balance that out for you.
I have a question, because they have you use witch hazel for hemorrhoids, and that would
Kind of dries it out a little bit. Yes.
So what it,
So the witch hazel would dry, if you are experiencing a little bit too much oil production from being dry, your body wants to be balanced. So if everything going on is leaving you dry and dehydrated, your body kicks into gear and will start producing more oil and sebum to kind of rectify that. So it's kind of robbing Peter to pay Paul. So the witch hazel is the only drying ingredient, but that's the one that I would tell you to use that. Did we all try the toner?
Mhm.
You like it? Yeah, having a little one in your purse kind of is a little pick-me-up. Okay, how many of us cleanse our face at night? No?
So I do not take care of my skin.
So I will tell you, I'm not gonna be the esthetician up here saying you need these 19 products, you have to wash your face twice a day. I'm gonna tell you if you wash once a day, which is just fine, I'm a realist with it, do it at night. You wanna cleanse the day off your skin. We heal, replenish, and rejuvenate ourselves at night when we sleep. So we wanna give ourselves the best possible ingredients and the best possible tools to do that with. So when we cleanse our face at night, I suggest doing a double cleanse and a moisturizer. That's 3 products, and that's my hard sell for people. You can obviously build onto that if you'd like. This would be the routine. Cleansing, moisturizer, and SPF for the day. And then this whole thing, I would suggest doing 2 or 3 times a week in hopes that you do it once or twice. A double cleanse is gonna be beneficial not only if you're going through treatment, but day to day as well, because you're gonna start with a cleansing oil, which is gonna give you a bit more of a thorough cleanse, because most cosmetics, sunscreens, and environmental pollutants are oil or petroleum based, so like attracts like. So you would, some cleansing oil, you would go over your face, it would break down sunscreen, mascara, a heavier lip, foundation, then you would get your hands damp and follow through with doing just a very light cleanse with a water-based or cream-based cleanser and go right over that. Did you have a question?
Oh, I'm listening to you. I was, okay.
I'm gonna come closer to
I've
you.
never done all this routine for the last 18 years. More than that, later, I discovered that I cannot wash my face
Okay.
too often, sensitive.
Mhm.
So I don't.
Okay.
And I feel like maybe it's a little too late to start. After, well, what I was not, of course, doing right, I've been exposed to some,
Sure.
and now I'm paying for it. And I'm trying to find something safe. Like, I don't know, I'm reading this ingredients.
Mhm.
And there are, okay, polysorbate.
That is one of the, that is part of the preservation system in there, so you want that in
You cannot
there.
have a product without it.
You would not want to use something without some type of preservative in it. Because just like if you open up a yogurt, you're gonna eat that yogurt all in one. I'm trying to think of something that doesn't have a preservative. If you bite an apple, the stopwatch on that apple's longevity, shelf life
Okay.
starts.
Yes, it's limited.
Yes.
It's like,
Yes.
and then it has alcohol. Why do I need to spray alcohol? It's like chemical. Yes.
Right.
And also, three more very long names, which, and, well, whatever. Very long enough to be natural ingredients.
I understand what you're saying. But I don't think it's too late for you to incorporate some things if you wanted.
Okay.
I think do you other, I know you have skin cancer, but do you have other concerns for your skin? Do you feel like I see a little bit of redness and irritation?
Well, whatever you see, it's a result of the cure of the disease.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
so.
if I can,
Yeah,
if I can
absolutely.
offer too.
I never used sun protection. And now I know when I will be visiting my son in a week.
Mhm.
And he will put on me zinc and
The titanium dioxide and zinc oxide.
yes,
And those rest on your skin. Yes, yes. Your son gets 2 thumbs way up because those 2 ingredients are resting on your skin and the light is bouncing off of you as opposed to you using something with the oxybenzone in it, which is absorbing into your skin. And what that does is it absorbs the light into you and diffuses it. I like it better because your skin, one, it's absorbing less ingredients. The other, the chemical sunscreens, they're finding out are not the best things for us, but they'll heat your skin up as well. So the other 2 are better because they bounce it off of you.
okay. What about the product? Just 2 products.
These ones,
So
these,
so
yeah.
they are zinc, they are the same base. So they are,
It's not the first ingredient.
it's, no,
Zinc
but if-
oxide.
But if you, this one doesn't have the,
zinc oxide is the first
yeah, zinc
ingredient.
oxide and titanium dioxide, those are the, active ingredients in it.
I don't want to interrupt, but I also want to keep an eye on our time.
Oh, yes, these are products that I use, yes, these are
Yeah.
products that we use.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and because we're starting to get close on
Yep,
time.
yep, I know, I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. And this is a tough thing because, you know, there's a lot of fear around, you know, there's a lot of fear around, or there can be a lot of fear around what we put on or in our bodies, especially if you've had a cancer experience, right? Whether it's breast cancer, skin cancer. And I think that it's okay to also say, like, I don't, you know, like you were saying, if you haven't done this for all these years, there's nothing wrong with that, right? This is really about information for people who are looking to maybe make a couple changes, try something new. You know, there's things that work for all of us. You know, when people are diagnosed with cancer, sometimes they stop drinking, you know, some people will stop drinking alcohol and go completely plant-based. Other people will keep eating just the way they ate and drinking the way they drank. And I'm not gonna say that one's better than another, right? We have to make those decisions for ourselves. I think that it's hard to find products and ingredients that pass any kind of like, oh, this is like the safest thing out there. It's about the way I look at a lot of it is if you saw a lot of the ones that maybe that get a lot of kind of negative attention, a lot of it has to do with irritants, right? Things that are going to irritate your skin or create an allergic reaction more than even cancer causing. You know, those cancer causing is something that gets a lot of attention, but a lot of these things are really more about skin irritants. And if your skin's irritated, that's actually causing your body stress. And so a lot of the times, the less, you know, going simple, scaling back, you know, if you use a lot, I've gone through periods where I used a 10-step routine.
Right.
And now I'm down to 2 at the moment because I'm just taking a break, right? Just trying something completely different.
And part of what Amy just said, so during cancer treatments, surgery, radiation, all of that, your skin is being internally irritated because your skin is trying its damnedest to protect you and to take on the burden of everything that's coming at you. So you're being irritated from the outside, and like Amy said, and I'm sorry if it didn't come across that way, but it's what can you use that's going to not make you irritated from the outside as well, so that you do have that calming, soothing, nourishing factor that's kind of taking care of your skin as opposed to what's going on internally.
And I do find it's really easy to overthink this stuff and to stress about it. And you kind of it's okay to say, like, I've read a lot of stuff and everybody can have, you know, has their opinions on this, but a lot of dermatologists will say any sunscreen is better than no sunscreen, right? Because as you know, without sunscreen, we're opening ourselves up to potential skin cancer. So any sunscreen, you know, that I've read great things that say the best sunscreen is the one you use. So it's okay if it's not one of these. If it's copper tone, because and if it, you know, if you use like copper tone or banana boat and it doesn't irritate your skin and you love the smell and you're going to use it every day when you're out in the sun, that's going to be the best product for you. Like that's kind of what we have to look at too. So you know, a lot of it is trying to get educated and then make decisions that are right for you. Yeah. I mean, you know, there are things that can be helpful, right? Like I learned through a dermatologist that if you have bad allergies, seasonal allergies, the recommendation is to take your shower at night. Get that day off of you. Don't go to bed with, you know, stuff in your hair and on your skin that you've brought in from the world outside. So for that reason, I always I do wash my face at night. Even when I didn't used to wash it twice a day, I always washed it at night, because for me, it's like, oh yeah, I have makeup on, I have the world on me, I'm gonna get that off, right? But some people don't. I know people wash their skin and their face in the morning, or it's what works for you.
Makeup.
Yeah, it's really what works for you.
And it's just, my hope is that people look at skincare as something that they can incorporate into self-care, using washing their face and creating more of a self-care ritual, using products that you love to use. Like Amy said, the best sunscreen is the sunscreen that you'll use. And that you find the products, the cleansers and the moisturizers that make you feel good inside and out. And that you like build those into your lifestyle and create a lifestyle for yourself that promotes your well-being. Yeah. Cool. Yeah.
Okay, sorry, I don't.
No, that's okay. That's okay.
We've got probably a few more minutes, and then you.
I agree with you, and I have my own routine.
Yeah.
Suppose I never wash my face.
Right.
I go every once a day to exercise.
Yeah.
Swimming pool. And
it
makes me clean and makes me my safe clean, which doesn't have any of these ingredients.
There you go. There you go. That's awesome. Yeah. And just building your lifestyle. I brought a few things. If you enjoy cooking, there's a whole movement now about, you know, eating your way to better skin, taking time to journal. There's candles, and just kind of giving yourself the opportunity to nurture yourself, because we as women want to take care of everybody else before we take care of ourselves, and knowing that you know can't fill from an empty cup. So taking that time for yourself, whether it's pre, during, or post treatment for yourselves, allowing yourselves to put yourselves first and giving yourself that opportunity to build that into your life. Yeah.
I do.
Yes, ma'am.
You know that it's a water, it's a molecular
My
water.
micellar water.
Do you take it off, take your makeup off, and then wash your face, or does that wash your face for you?
So
I was giving some for Christmas in my stack.
it depends. Yes and
Or am I
no.
throwing it out?
So no.
I don't think it bothers my skin.
So for some people it irritates, it will irritate them. You can use it as a makeup remover. I prefer to use an oil to remove cosmetics, because I feel like it does a better job, because oil will whoosh into the pore and kind of pull everything up and out. It'll break down mascaras. It's going to take off lipsticks, because like attracts like. If micellar water won't break down cosmetics as much as an oil or a cleanser will, I like to use micellar water similar to how I use a toner. And I use a toner to help rebalance the pH of the skin in the treatment room after I do an exfoliation on a client or on myself. So it'll take that. Toners have come a long way, and I'll do that because you know, back in my day, there was Sea Breeze.
I was
and-
thinking that
and-
earlier, like
Yeah,
toner
and so
isn't what it
those were
was when
like
we were like
drying.
teenagers.
That's not what this is, and that's not what a micellar water is. These will add a humectant factor back into the skin. They're gonna make moisturizers and serums work a little bit better because, bad analogy time, if our skin is a sponge, and if you've ever used a dry dehydrated sponge to pick up a spill on a counter, it kind of just pushes everything around, but you get that same sponge damp and it sucks everything in. That's what micellar water and toners and facial mists do for your skin now. So they're going to make things work a little bit better for you. The moisturizers and serums are gonna absorb a little bit more. That's how I use it. I don't think a micellar water is going to do a thorough enough job. If you're just wearing, you know, very light, minimal, it might, but an oil is gonna give you a thorough cleanse. And just the oil alone, you know, incorporating a facial massage with that to help stimulate the muscles, kind of activate, increase circulation, kind of wake your skin up, is just lovely. And you're not gonna get that same slip that you would with the water.
Thank you.
You're welcome, you're welcome. But use it. I always tell everybody, like, don't throw any skincare out ever because it's money. So, you know, if it's not something that might be suitable, I'm not a big fan of scrubs for your face, but shoulders, heels, knees, like, use that, use it. Yes.
The, surveillance that went around.
Yes.
Those are, I thought you said.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, and that's why
What's the
we have
bad
them,
thing for?
the oxybenzone
Okay.
is, yeah, it's found to hurt the coral reefs. Again, sunscreen is my my little pet peeve, but when a product has an active ingredient, just we talked about the regulatory board, that there is none. The only time that the FDA gets involved in skincare is when a product has to do something very specific and has an active ingredient like zinc oxide and titanium dioxide. That's why you'll see on certain products that there's an active ingredient and the percentage of it, because this has to protect you for 300 minutes with an application. So that's how the FDA gets involved, just like with certain, like Differin gel or certain acne medications, retinoids and retinols, that's when they get involved. So yeah, this is one. All Good is a great line. There is Salt and Stone and they're all the physical sunscreens that are based. There's one more, blue something. It's gone.
Have you heard of Ulta MD?
Ulta
Or,
Oh, yeah.
Have
I
you
know
heard
what
of
you're
that?
talking about. Yeah.
It's not Ulta, it's like
It's Alt ULTA.
No.
Derm store that has actually
Oh,
a bunch
okay.
of good.
Okay,
Yeah,
yeah.
It was
Yeah.
recommended to me as like.
yeah, it's got a
Yeah,
really,
not-
it's got a
Yeah.
really good following.
Yeah.
I've used it before. Yeah, and I mean, again, you can, you know, the good thing too is we're finding more and more stuff like available mainstream.
Yeah.
So looking for a mineral sunscreen, if we're using the sunscreen
Yeah.
topic, right? Like, you know, going ahead and looking up, like checking the ingredients on the back, going with brands you know and trust. Just because something isn't supposedly, you know, green or whatever doesn't mean that it's not okay to use. It just is going to have a different, you know, a different product a different ingredient makeup.
A lot of kids' sunscreens are really good as well. And also as long as we're talking about sunscreen, the higher the SPF doesn't necessarily make it better for you.
Yeah.
Because it many times, if you're using like an SPF 75, it gives you a false sense of security. So yes, because you're sweating, you're swimming, it's coming off, it's wearing off. And so a 50 or less is fine, but you have to reapply. a 75 or is fine as well, but you have to reapply. And it depends on, if you're waking up and driving to work and coming, you're at work and then you come home, you don't need a 75 SPF. If you're between the hours of 11 to 3, you're on the beach, you're on a boat, you're in the park, you're doing all sorts of fun stuff, which I hope we all are. Yes, then I'm going to tell you, you not only need SPF, you need a hat, you need some type of UV protectant clothing. Like you have to kind of layer that up for yourself. So the sun protectant factor is whatever this number is times 10, and that equals the minutes that it's supposed to protect you.
Oh, that's what
Okay,
that
we
means?
know that.
We all learned something today. So yes, that's what that means.
So 30 is 300 minutes.
Yes.
50 is 500 minutes.
Yes.
So interesting.
So that's in a little nutshell. That's what SPF means. So when you get into those higher numbers, ain't nothing gonna protect you for 750 minutes. You need
Right.
to reapply. But again, a lot of times, like the reason I pass this along is because most people with the physical sunscreens, they think it's gonna be chalky and it's going to bounce like
To
it's
turn you
greasy.
white or
Yeah.
Right,
greasy.
and it's not.
Yeah.
And that's, the formulations have changed and things are more elegant and refined and you can snap and it makes it easier. But a lot of, when Amy was talking about brands, a lot of kids' sunscreens are really good with the zinc oxide and the titanium dioxide as well and are easier. And there's a spray that comes with it too, because he's now 21, but I have a redheaded translucent son and his first job was on a boat. So, because it makes sense, right? So I had to get him something that he could use and that would be easy for him, because the best one that it is the one that you'll use. So, and it sprays on and it goes on just like the lotion aspect of it. So it's a lot of trial and error.
It is, that's one of the hard parts. It is a lot of trial
Yeah.
and error. And so, it doesn't always have to be expensive. Drugstores these days, Target, CVS, Rite Aid, Walgreens, they almost all have multiple options. It's not just one brand anymore, or
And if
the
they don't,
major
Amazon.
brands. Yeah, and if you
Right.
don't, Amazon, yeah, exactly. You can always find things somewhere, but were there, okay, I do want to keep an eye on our time, because
Yep,
unfortunately we will
yep.
have to be wrapping
No,
up, but.
I think I had questions.
Okay.
Hair and nails, we're just a little bit talking about it, the same care that you're gonna take with your skin, take with your hair and nails as well. Speaking to your oncologist, if nail polish is an option, there are better nail polishes that are out there that'll help nourish and hydrate your nails as well. Cuticle oil, using fine emery boards, not clipping, because you don't want to take that risk that you're going to clip down too far, and just kind of help reinforcing the integrity of the nails. And the same with the hair, particularly with oils. If you're using it on your face and your nails, you can use it on your hair and your scalp as well. Kind of particularly jojoba oil and olive oil will help with itch and irritation and inflammation. So, and then,
All right. Do we have any, before we kind of wrap up, any remaining questions?
For hair, would you, like I take biotin, cause I'm still getting my hair back.
yeah,
But it's like taking a lifetime, but it like I use keratin and it's just a shampoo.
yeah.
Should I stick with that kind and not use like, my normal Biolage?
The keratin, they're great shampoos and they help kind of strengthen the integrity of the follicle.
Okay.
You could incorporate, I know it's like castor oil is known to help nourish the follicle and promote hair growth. It is one of the, more active ingredients in like more natural brow and lash serums. So, castor oil, almond oil, vitamin E oil will all help promote growth within the follicle. But you're still, if it's still within the growing out process, you know, that is a process that will kind of take a little bit of time to, you know, to see the volume back. But just like the VO5 treatments from back in the day, just using castor oil is a real weighty, messy one. So if you can find it in something, it's a little bit better, but even olive oil and just kind of putting it on. What I do is I put it on while I'm doing other things in the morning and kind of get it going, because I'm a hair washer in the morning. And I'll leave it on for about a half an hour while I'm doing other things. And then when I jump in the shower, I just shampoo it out. So you want to give it, even at night, if you can put it in at night and kind of sleep with it, you'll start noticing. Not only will it help with the growth, with the health of the follicle, but the integrity of your hair itself.
Okay.
The brochure about what you do with your.
I don't have, I have cards with me,
Oh, okay.
because we were changing things so often, and then COVID, we went to a QR code that'll take you to the website.
Oh, okay.
So, but I have things further well.
Yeah, do you wanna pass those
Sure,
out? Well, okay.
sure.
Yeah, this was great. And as you can see, I mean, we could talk about this for hours and hours and hours. And, you know, I think what's important to remember is that it's just really, you know, something like skincare, it's just taking care of you, right? It's not even about, at this point, I look at it as, it's not about trying to look 20 years younger than I am. It's not about, you know, trying to look like someone I'm not. It's about, doing the things that are gonna help take care of you in treatment, after treatment. One of the things that didn't get touched on tonight that I think is important to remember too, is a lot of people who are, you know, if you are post-active treatment, but maybe your cancer was hormone positive, a lot of us are on medication for many years, hormone suppressors, estrogen suppressors, and that affects our skin and our hair and all of that as well. And so, you know, we've got a lot of challenges that we're up against, and besides just the natural aging process. And that's why doing some things that, you know, it's about feeling good, right? It's about what can you do to take a few minutes here and there, or in the evening or in the morning, and make, you know, do something for yourself to feel good. And then hopefully that also has long lasting benefits. So, all right, we're gonna log off for the Zoomers, and